Hi, happy Thursday. Welcome to Stronger Together. I'm Janessa Finley Ford, and I am here to talk to you about your amazing power and how we fall away from it and forget about it sometimes. But before we get into why that occurs and how we can reclaim it and consistently reclaim it so that we can stay in that place of power, I want to mention that if you guys have not noticed any of the crystal feeds, Sammy Joe is currently in Tucson, Arizona at one of the biggest gem and mineral shows. I like to just call it rocks, rock shows. So if you are in the market for any crystals, gifts, Valentine's Day gifts coming up, metaphysical properties, she is your girl, and there are lots of things to choose from at your fingertips. Also, I want to mention, and getting started, I'll mention this again at the end. On Tuesday, we're having a free workshop, and it is the Enneagram in Love. February is always the month of love, and the Enneagram is your personality structure. And there's so much that can be leveraged from the wisdom, the infinite wisdom of the Enneagram for relationships, specifically love. We're going to look at how each of the types typically shows up in love, what their strengths and weaknesses are. And then, of course, we're going to do some shifting and empowering so that you can stay in a place where you are predominantly in your strengths, knowing what characteristics and personality types that will support you to partner with. And there's going to be lots of great stuff. SJ is also going to do a journey, go through the elements, crystals, putting it all together. It's going to be great. So if you want to jump into that, I will leave the link for that in the comments at the end. Probably, unless I do it here super quick, but I'm not the best at multitasking. But anyway, there will be a link and you can register at that link to grab your seat for free and join us on Tuesday evening. I hope you all are having a great week. Spring is right around the corner. I keep telling myself this, giving myself a pep talk. The cold is almost gone. And sun. I just want sun. Even if it's cold, if there's sun, it's better. So, okay, I hope you're all well. Thank you for being here. Hi, Morgan. It's great to see you on. So let's talk about this thing, this amnesia thing that happens to us. Have you ever noticed how sometimes literally you go to bed, you feel great, you had a good day, things are flowing, you're in your power, things are just coming naturally for you, and you wake up the next morning and you feel out of sorts, and you feel a little bit off, or a lot off. Hey, Sarah, thanks for hopping on. And somehow in our sleep, we have gone, hey Joni, we have gone from being really in our power, feeling super confident, not having much doubt, to all in our head and just feeling like maybe things are way too difficult, maybe we're feeling a lot of fear, lack of confidence, whatever that is for you. But literally just going to sleep and waking up can shift it. Now, there's a lot of other things that can shift for us as well, throughout our day when we're triggered, if we experience trauma, especially if we experience a lot of trauma stacked closely together. So really, part of this journey in being human is remembering or re-remembering, wherever you're at in that journey. Maybe you're just coming to really, truly, deeply know yourself. So you're within that remembering process and exploring who are you really, stripping away all the things that you've been told, all the things that you saw demonstrated in your family growing up, and truly coming into touch with who you are at that deep soul level. That's the remembering. But the re-remembering is, like I talked about, when we get triggered, when we have trauma, when we go to sleep and we wake up on an off day. That calls for us to re-remember our truth day in and day out. And the thing of it is that it doesn't mean that you're weak, or it doesn't mean that there's something wrong with you, depending upon what filter personality that you are looking through. it really just means that you're human. For a long time, I used to feel like there was something so fundamentally wrong with me that there were all these layers to work through to find my true self, to find my true power. And at the end of the day, like, that's actually what this whole life experience for me personally is all about. And I had to give up the belief that there was a finish line. I thought, if I just get to a certain place, I can stop. But it's not. It's a lifestyle for those who embrace living that way, that deeply, with that much purpose. So one of the other things I want to talk to you guys about just really briefly is media. And when I say media, I mean all exterior influences of you. Now, I know we talk about this quite a lot on the surface or in passing and mentioning. I'm not sure I've ever made it a point to truly like harp on the topic, if you will. But the media that we're consuming will also pull us out of our power. So as we're remembering who we are we listening to music that aligns with where we are in our journey or where we have determined we want to go? So for instance, those who perhaps are wanting to have a rock solid relationship, are you listening to Achy Breaky Heart? Because if you are, it's not going to get you to where you want to be. So from movies to music to the books that you're reading, even the people in your life, the job that you have, if you're in alignment with who you are, where you're going, what you want to do, if it fills you energetically, right? Like, it doesn't have to be your dream job yet. You can be on the path, but does it fill you energetically, or does it leave you completely depleted and drained? We only get, I don't like to say that way because it's limiting. It's a saying, right? We only have 24 hours in a day. That's what was coming to mind. But the point is that we have a number of hours at our disposal every day where we get to choose what we are consuming and filling our lives with. And when we are remembering who we are, finding resources that lie outside of the norm of what's easy to access, the media, the, doom and gloom news, as I like to call it, that's on TV, that's filled with fear and trauma and phobias and all sorts of, just make you feel not great about life in general or why you're here. Those things are easily accessible. They're all around us. We're inundated with them. So it can be harder to find resources. And if you want resources that support you in that part, if that's the journey you're on, in Stronger Together, we have tons of courses, we have book lists, we have all sorts of things that can support you having the tools you need to keeping your energy, your chakras in alignment, your mindset clear, and to keep you moving forward. So consider checking that out if you're interested in knowing more. Reach out to me personally. I would love to answer any questions that you have. So if you have joined me on past lives that I have done, I talk a lot about the brain and the brain's natural programming. And so our default programming also pulls us out of our truth because our brains are programmed in such a way that they do not support the magic of the unknown. Our minds want to know everything. But where things really happen in exponential form and in a really magical, amazing way that doesn't make sense and we can't always explain it, is in the unknown. It's not in the known, but our brains struggle and wrestle and try very dutifully to have control of everything, to make sense of everything, to reason everything, to rationalize everything. And so when we allow our brains to live in that natural default programming where it's comparing us to everything and everyone around us and finding the gap in all the ways that we're insignificant, it's not going to support you in where you want to go. And that is the value of learning to and making the space and time and commitment to doing some really little things that help reprogram the brain or keep your brain on the track that you want it to be in, rather than the track that it jumps on automatically and then takes off and avalanches down the mountain. So there's one thing that is our truth, and that is the fact that our fears are common. If you talk to people, when I work with people in sessions, the fears that come up are, a lot of the same topics. I'm fearful of failure. I'm fearful of success. I'm fearful of love. I'm fearful of the unknown. I'm fearful of change. There's a lot of topics that are just the same fear, maybe a little bit different life experience to get you there, but at the base of it all, the fear is the same. The thing that is not the same for us as humans, the thing that is special and unique, our dreams and our skill set, our traits, our talents. And this is why it's so important to discover who you are. Because you are going to have something different, something unique, something amazing to offer the world that I do not, that your sibling does not, that your best friend does not. There's only one of you. So taking the time to write who you are, what is your truth, and review it at the beginning of the day and the end of the day is super powerful. And that's my super little short and sweet tidbit, exercise, strategy tool, whatever you want to call it, that I'm leaving you with here this evening. And we'll get into it a little bit deeper, but it's really that simple. And guys, it's so powerful. It's so powerful. So the ego gives us that illusion of separation, which is why we think that our fears are different. But they're not. It's just this, separation. It's this lie. It's our inner rumor mill that creates a storyline that the world is scary, and it insists that we can only believe what our five senses can pick up on information around us in this physical, tangible world. And that we can't learn to trust. Don't learn to trust. It's not safe to learn to trust. And what we should do is worry. Worry about everything. Worry about our job, worry about our kids, worry about our money, worry about our finances, worry about our friends, worry about our parents, worry about the world, worry about the banking system, worry about the government, worry. And we have to have a way to quiet that voice. I recently read a book by Jim Quick. It is called Limitless, and it is, of course, a lot about the brain, training the brain. There was a quote in there that I read that I feel like is so valuable. I want everyone to know it. And what Jim says is that your brain is not broken. So he's saying that from a lens that when he was a child, he had a traumatic brain injury. And after that, he had a challenging time learning. He had a challenging time performing in school. And he felt as though his brain was broken. And he was forever going to be at a deficit because he had this disadvantage of a brain that would not work for him. And when he got to college, he realized, which this is where the quote comes in, that it was not that the brain is broken. There's a difference between a trained brain and an untrained brain. And our brains are very trainable. We as humans are very trainable. Not just pets, not just animals. We are too. So if you take the time to train your brain, you are going to reap the rewards exponentially. Because we get to choose our truer truth. We don't have to just listen to what our brain defaults to. And I have been leaning heavy into a mantra recently that there is nothing to fear. There is nothing to fear. There is nothing to fear. So if nothing more, when you get caught up, swept away in your day, and you're feeling that wobble and you're feeling that uneasiness, there's nothing to fear. There's nothing to fear. So as I mentioned, start your day, end your day. It can take 30 seconds. It can take 2 minutes. You can do the super woman or man pose. If you want to in front of your mirror, that actually research shows gets you better results faster, whatever you want to do. When I started out with this, I was actually a generic list of affirmations off of the internet many years ago, probably 10 or 12 years ago. And I could not believe how big of a difference starting my day with those affirmations of what I believed really made in dealing with life's bumps throughout the day. And this was before I was really on a personal growth track or a healing of my trauma and my childhood expedition, if you will. And I had to go through some of that healing to really know who I was. But who I am as I develop also shifts and changes. So this is a list or affirmation list that you may want to visit and revisit. But I just grabbed one that was here close to me, and I'm going to read a few of them to you. Now, because we do have some similar beliefs, some of these are going to be true for everyone, but the real value of this comes when you hone in on what your gifts are, what your truth is, what your skills are, what you have to share with the world, what that looks like. What are your big dreams that you dream that you're making come into reality, that you're on your way to right now? And add those in. So my list that I grabbed that was here close, who I am. I am truth, light, and love. I am worthy of all of the abundant riches of God's kingdom. I am protected divinely in each step I take. I am brave, courageous, and bold. I am a leader and a reformer. Now, I should have prefaced, you're going to hear my personality structure shine through bright and brightly in here as well. There are some perfects, some reformers. My personality structure is called the reformer. So it is what it is. You guys can laugh. I'm laughing too. I am noble, honest, and discerning. I am good and perfect just as I am. I am joy. I am peace. I am resilient, tenacious, and perseverant. I am here to contribute, to create, to heal, and to lead. I am worthy. I am deserving. I am more than capable. I am quick to be massively successful. I live in a benevolent world with a God who works all things for good. The universe is always conspiring on my behalf. All things are possible always. I am force. I am gentle. I am strong. I am soft. I am fierce. I am serene, and I get to have it all. Now, when you're reading something like that to yourself a couple times every day, and you're feeling the feeling of those things, and you're believing that that's who you are, as you are going through life's bumps and trials, it's going to bring you back. In fact, honestly, all last year was one big trauma on repeat, just a big trauma cycle, trauma after trauma, and I recently had another trauma, and it really pulled me out of my place of feeling protected and feeling peaceful. And this that I'm sharing with you did not just become a morning and evening routine. It was multiple times a day, because that is where I found my peace. And I fell away from my peace much more quickly than what I normally did because of the trauma I had experienced and what I was healing through. But each time I came to this list, I had that time frame of peace. And each time that I did it, I was able to hold that space of peace a little bit longer and a little bit longer and a little bit longer until I was able to move through and process all of the trauma. So I hope you will take the time. I had actually heard this exercise, I don't know what you want to call it, ritual, daily routine, whatever, multiple times. Probably at least 10 times before I finally set aside the affirmation list that was generic and written by someone else and started looking at who I, Janessa, am as a person. And if you do yourself the honor of doing that, you are going to really, truly come to know yourself better, love yourself more, accept yourself deeper. Great things are going to come from that. But if you're not ready or there quite yet, grab an affirmation list off the internet and get started there. Okay, so to close out this evening, or this afternoon, or whatever time it is. I've been in a time warp lately. We're going to walk through a meditation by Dawson Church. I love his meditation process because it brings you down into those meditative theta waves much, much quicker. There's going to be a little bit of tapping, top of the head, between the eyes, the outside of the eyes, under the nose, under the lip, the collarbones, and then under the armpits. If I remember correctly, those are all of the points that he will use. So go ahead and settle into a comfortable position. You can sit up as well. It doesn't matter, wherever you're comfortable. This meditation will probably be approximately 10 minutes at most. It's not super long. So hopefully none of your body parts, if you are sitting, will fall asleep in that amount of time. So as we settle in, I'm quickly just going to align the energetics within your energy systems, the 7 energy systems flowing through our bodies. Just take a couple deep breaths on that. We're just going to release any of the energy that you're carrying with you currently that isn't yours, or that you've picked up along this week with any bumps or hurdles or challenges in the road. Anyone who has offloaded any of their emotions onto you because they're overwhelmed, we're going to release that as well. Take a couple more deep breaths. All right, and now we're going to start the meditation. So feel the breath flowing naturally in and out of your body. And imagine your breath flowing in and out through your heart. Tap gently on the side of your hand. And imagine all stress leaving your body now. Tap on the top of your head, then on your eyebrow point, side of the eye, under the eye, under the nose, under the mouth, the collarbone point, under the arm, and the side of your hand, as all stress and tension now leaves your body. Imagine your breath flowing in and out through your heart, and slow your breathing down to 6 seconds per breath. In for 6 seconds, and out for 6 seconds. In for 6 seconds, and out for 6 seconds. Relax your tongue completely on the floor of your mouth, and imagine the volume of space inside your feet, inside your hands, inside your whole body. Imagine the volume of space between your eyes, and notice how relaxed your tongue is on the floor of your mouth as you breathe through your heart. 6 seconds in and 6 seconds out. Imagine a huge beam of love and light pouring in through the top of your head. This is the universe's love for you. Life energy pouring in every moment, filling your body, mind, and energy field. Tongue relaxed on the floor of your mouth. Big empty space between your eyes. Breathing in 6 seconds Breathing out 6 seconds. As the flow of energy from the universe pours in through the top of your head, imagine that flow energizing all of your body's energy centers, especially your heart. Notice the color of your heart energy. And now send a beam of that energy to a person or place that makes you feel wonderful. Enfold that person or place with your heart energy beam and feel all the compassion and love that connects you with that person or place. Tongue relaxed on the floor of your mouth. Big empty space between your eyes. Breathing 6 seconds in and 6 seconds out. And now expand that heart energy to embrace every single atom in the universe. Imagine your heart energy radiating out from your heart to send love and compassion to every single atom in the universe. Tongue relaxed on the floor of your mouth. Big empty space between your eyes. Breathing through your heart. In 6 seconds and out 6 seconds. As your heart energy radiates out to connect with every single atom in the universe. Now narrow your heart energy focus again to just that one person or place that makes you feel wonderful. And now detach your heart energy beam from that person or place and bring it completely back inside your own body. Affirm now with me, my body feels good. My heart energy feels wonderful. My mind is at peace. And anytime I choose, I can enter this elevated emotional state. I choose to release my suffering day by day, moment by moment, meditation by meditation. I love myself enough to meditate daily and release my suffering. And as I meditate daily, I activate the enlightenment circuit in my brain. Knowing that as I activate the circuit, it grows and develops. I choose to activate the enlightenment circuit daily. I choose to activate the enlightenment circuit now. And as I tune into my heart and feel all the gratitude, love, compassion, and joy in my heart, I activate the enlightenment circuit. All of those positive emotions in my heart now resonate with all the gratitude, love, compassion, and joy in the universe. The positive emotions of the universe resonate in me, in my local mind, in my local reality. All the non-local positive qualities of the universe resonate. The non-local love, gratitude, compassion, and joy of the universe resonates in my local reality, resonates in my mind, my heart, and my body. I now activate the enlightenment circuit in my brain, and it resonates with all the qualities of enlightenment in the entire universe. I choose to activate my brain's enlightenment circuit daily. I choose to activate my brain's enlightenment circuit in meditation. I choose to activate my brain's enlightenment circuit now, and I imagine my brain's enlightenment circuit being completely active in this moment. I choose to activate my brain's enlightenment circuit throughout the rest of today. I choose to live in this place of gratitude, compassion, love, and joy. And I know that whenever I make this choice throughout the day, it activates and reinforces my brain's enlightenment circuit. I am committed to a happy and peaceful life. And in that commitment, I choose to activate my brain's enlightenment circuit every day. I choose to release the suffering versions of myself and activate the versions of myself that overflow with joy, compassion, love, and gratitude. As I activate my brain's enlightenment circuit, every day it grows to become my dominant reality. It is now my default state. My brain defaults to love, to gratitude, to joy, to compassion, every moment of every day. This is the version of me that I choose and that I practice moment by moment, day by day, as I activate and grow my brain's enlightenment circuit. This is the new me and the truth of who I am. Feel the breath flowing in and out through your heart. And notice the big empty space between your eyes. And with the next 3 breaths, prepare to return your attention back to the here and now, back to the present moment. And with the 3rd breath, open your eyes, look around you, and notice the smallest pink object in your environment. Notice the largest triangular object in your environment. And notice how good your body and mind feel now that you've activated your brain's enlightenment circuit. And know that you can activate that circuit many times a day. Grow it until it becomes the new you. So there's a couple of things I really love as you guys come back about this meditation that really aligns with what we were talking about here this evening. As we go into that meditation, you're consistently told to focus on your breath, consistently told to focus on the tongue on the bottom of the mouth and the space between your eyes. Now there's a couple reasons for this. One reason I've shared with you before when we've done some of his other meditations, which is that those things help expedite the process of moving into that deeper meditative state. Also, however, our brain has to be reminded to go there because it's not natural, which is what I've been talking about here. It seems so repetitive to read the truth of who we are to ourselves. Like, if we know who we are, why do we have to read it every morning and every night or as many times throughout the day as we choose? Like, if I already know who I am, why doesn't my brain just, I already know, right? Well, our brain wanders and it needs to be prompted and brought back to the truth and reminded and re-reminded, right? And so we see that demonstrated in this meditation over and over and over again. Activating the enlightenment circuit. Breathing 6 counts in and 6 counts out, right? So if we need to do all of that for just a 10-minute meditation, and we have big, big dreams and big, big goals and big, big impact and big, bigness to share with the world, then we owe it to ourselves to remind ourselves of that every day so we don't lose sight, so we don't get distracted by the tangible 5 sensories that we pick up throughout the day. Because those big, big dreams are being created in the unknown and in the magical and in the spiritual. And if we only look at the evidence around us, we're only going to get little breadcrumbs. And we're not going to believe or see the big, big things. So remind yourself, you deserve to know who you are every minute of the day, or as many minutes as possible every day, without falling away from that truth. So for those of you who might not have been on in the very beginning, just a reminder, next Tuesday we are having a free Enneagram workshop focused on relationships and love relationships, specifically how each type shows up in love, their strengths and weaknesses, characteristics that will support you in your journey, that will partner well with you. And SJ is going to take us on a journey with the elements in crystals and shamanic earth medicine and all of the things, of course, because that is her style. So it's going to be a great event. If you are able to join us, wanting to join us, I dropped that link in the feed, so feel free to grab your seat, grab that Zoom link, and hop into that call Tuesday at, I believe it's 6 p.m. Central Time. And I think that's it. If you guys haven't seen SJ's feeds with the crystal sales, be sure to check those out. She's in Tucson, so there's lots of amazing things she is finding if you're in the market for any of those. And thank you, Joni. Thank you for joining. And if you have any questions about services, Stronger Together, individual sessions, if you have questions that you want answered on Eyes Wide Open, SJ and I will be live next Wednesday together, and we'll be discussing this past year, how we traversed my husband's legal situation, our business partnership, our friendship, all of the ships, our sistership throughout that journey, the trauma, the healing, the whole entire thing from that intimate point of view of her and I, which is different, much different than the point of view between myself and my husband. So join us for that. But if you have any topics you want to hear on the radio show, reach out to us, send them our way. We want to talk about things you guys want to hear, so be sure to let us know what that is. And replays, if you'd like to hear any of the past episodes on the radio show, you can jump over to my website, www.fiercelyradiantsoul.com. I'll drop the specific link in the chat, but if you go to my website, to the Eyes Wide Open tab, scroll toward the bottom, you will find every week's episode there on replay as well. So with that, that's everything. Thank you guys so much for joining me here this evening. I hope the rest of your week is amazing. We have a full moon this weekend. Enjoy those purging energies, and we'll see you very soon.